Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentry. This is our reaction to what just took place in the NBA. Tyson, Luka Dončić traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. One of the most shocking things that I think I can ever remember in sports in terms of trades. I mean, I was flabbergasted. I was sitting there on my couch. You texted me. You're like, is this real? I just got done watching the Royal Rumble. I thought you were talking about what John Cena was saying or all this stuff. So I was all pumped up. And then I'm like, what are you talking about? Then all of a sudden my phone starts blowing up besides you too. I'm like, oh boy, we thought Sean's was hacked. We had no clue what was going on. No, it's 100% real, as he said. Luka Dončić is going to be a Los Angeles Laker going forward, and a stunning development.
Yeah, first of all, shame on you. I don't even have Twitter, so the fact that I'm having to hit you with these things, I mean, come on. It was. Look, we didn't have the NFL this weekend. There was Royal Rumble on Saturday, and Adam Silver saw his moment, and the league stepped up and took it. I can't believe this, dude. All day today, there's been, whether it's sports talk radio or articles or threads online of people make a trade in the NFL that would be like this one, or the NHL that would be like this one. It doesn't exist. We don't have any data. This is the middle of the season, man. This is crazy.
Well, Schefter said that the NFL equivalent is Burrow for Lamar Jackson, which was laughable. It's like, dude, come on. At least act like you watch basketball. But Tyson, this is our first NBA podcast of the year. And if you're just jumping in, you're a new user, new listener, we've been just head down in NFL, head down in college football. So it's nice to talk about the NBA. And of course, this is the classic mantra, quote, this league, end quote, because that's what it was. It was like, oh, everybody's talking about the ratings suck. Well, why don't we just give Luka Dončić, one of the biggest stars in the game, to the Los Angeles Lakers? So we're going to talk about it from all angles. Let's go here. This is not our initial reaction, so we've been able to take some time to think about this, so it's not as reactionary. What do you think about this from the Lakers' perspective now?
From the Lakers' perspective, I think I think the same thing I did yesterday, which is like, nice. That was a smash. I don't know like how else to put it into context. Like it didn't make them better in the short term, but now they have their star for the next 10 years and they'll figure it out from there. It's great for them. I'm sure that the reason LeBron James wasn't informed is because Rob Pelinka was like, yeah, we'll do that right now, and then pick up the pieces after that. It's Lakers exceptionalism, baby. This is what they do. This is the NBA. This is just the first time, like in our lives, it feels like that a superstar's fallen in their lap. But some older people right now might be listening, and they have other examples of the same thing.
It is pretty remarkable, like everybody's wondering. Okay, they get LeBron, they get the Mickey Mouse ring and the bubble. Lakers fans, come after me if you want. But it was like, what are we going to do after, right? Because we can't necessarily rely on Anthony Davis. LeBron been trying to push, the Davis is going to take over thing. And the injury concerns, you never quite were there. Well, they get their guy now. And I think that was the thing for Pelinka. I don't even know if he's going to be the GM by the time Luka's like kind of into LeBron twilight or even like a few years later, you know what I mean? But this was clearly a move by Pelinka to set the Lakers up for success. And that's exactly what they did. Now, trading away Anthony Davis, Tyson, he is on an absolute tear this season. I mean, he's been special before. He's on a new level this season. If he can stay healthy, I always say when he shows up with the mindset to the gym that he wants to dominate and he's healthy, I don't know if there's another big as good as him. I mean, he just does everything that you can want. Taking him out of the equation now, I do not think that makes the Lakers a championship team with Luka and LeBron. The defense is going to be awful. They have no big, like Jackson Hayes, really? Like you're going to give him the NBA minutes? There's a reason why he's on his second team, So in terms of the immediate future, I don't think this does anything for the Lakers. Like, yes, it's going to be a fun story. Can the superstars will them to a win in the playoffs? Sure, but I think OKC's better. You just kind of go through the West. I think the Nuggets are still going to be better. The Timberwolves are going to be tough out. The Rockets are fun. Like, you know what I mean? But it's going to be an attrition on the West. But I think there's a clear hole that the Lakers have at the big man position without Anthony Davis. But thinking about it from the big picture, if you get offered Luka Dončić, you just take it. Like there's just no second guessing that.
No, I mean, there's how many guys in the league would you say no to in a 1-for-1?
Very few. I mean, Wemby probably you don't give up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, keep Jokic.
I mean, but we're talking about like Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, he's exploded now. But do you take him over Luka? You got to think about that. You know what I mean? I mean, this is a guy. It's like to your point, somebody's offering that you don't really think twice about taking by not accepting that trade.
No, and I'm sure there'll be some more fallout, some more trades to come, probably for both of these teams. If LA really wants to compete, like Austin Reeves on this nice little contract with the way he's playing, probably makes him maybe more valuable now than he will be a year from now or any other time, that he's wearing purple and gold. So maybe that's what they go to, because it's not going to be Jackson Hayes or like 𝐾𝐿 on a two-way or something like that. And if it is, then this was agreed to, with whoever else in LA. It's okay. We're not gonna make the playoffs this year. But did you see what I just did?
And that's what I think you're weighing between, right? If you're the Lakers, you don't have LeBron for as many more years as, he said he wants to play till he's like 45. If anybody, it's hard to second guess or anything that he's done. Just based on the way he takes care of his body and how high of a level he's playing at this age. But it's like, dude, at some point, there's just no more tread in those tires. We'll see, though. But the Luka thing is just fascinating from the other perspective, Tyson, because why the hell would the Mavs trade him? I think that's what everybody's trying to wonder. Everybody knows that the Lakers hit a home run here, right? If you get Luka Dončić. So let's dive into the Mavs thing, because it was shocking. Mark Stein said that they were heading towards a record $345 million extension on the 5-year because he's got the bird rights. And then all of a sudden, Nico Harrison's like, no, we're not going to do that anymore. He comes out. Luka Dončić says that he did not, or Mark Stein says Luka Dončić did not request a trade. He was completely blindsided by this. This was worked in the dark, something that Nico Harrison, the Mavs, did by himself. It feels like somebody kind of gone rogue, yada, yada. And then he comes out and says, Tyson, he didn't shop him around. He only targeted the Lakers. He wanted Anthony Davis. Like, that's the guy he wanted. He believes defense wins championships. Anthony Davis is going to slot into the 4 beside Gafford and Derek Lively at the 5 spot in the rotation. So Anthony Davis gets to play his natural position, the position he wants. But this is a clear focus for the Mavericks. Like, we're going to win defense. We're going to try to do something different here.
Yeah, this last 2-week period has been everybody in the sports world kind of dogpiling onto the Dallas Cowboys, and their neighbors just did something much stupider and took the heat off of them. I don't look. He said he thinks thinks for the future, and then today he came out and said that the future to him is 3 to 4 years from now. And it's like, do you mean when Luka Dončić will be 28 and 29 years old? Like, what the hell are you talking about? Look, dude, they got to know something, right? Like, that's the only thing you can really look at and be like, maybe his health is cooked, maybe the conditioning stuff is like way worse than we think. But this is the NBA, man. This is where we've seen guys worse than a fat Luka Dončić on a $350 million contract get traded. Like, you could still make these moves. This just felt ridiculous to me.
The point that I think Nico Harrison is trying to hammer home, and I'm not going to put words in his mouth because he's saying plenty, and he's saying plenty of questionable things. I think when you're like, yeah, but like what? It's Luka Dončić. The Mavericks didn't view Luka as a max player for that much amount of money. Now, is this an ownership decision? It's hard to believe, right? You got a megastar, an international star. Just don't give that up very often if you're in the NBA. But that is a lot of money, and that is a huge commitment. And Tyson, I'm a Sixers fan, and somebody was going through the cap hit that Joel Embiid is going to take, and he's not playing, and we have no clue what he's going to age poorly, of course. Like 30% of the cap. If Luka's conditioning is bad, if he's not going to be on the court and he's going to take that much of a cap hit, I can see where they're coming from. Now, I wouldn't have made this trade. This is crazy to me. You go for a guy you're concerned about for the future and being on the court to getting Anthony Davis as the prize. Yeah. That's where it becomes questionable. Like, maybe if you can convince me on a bunch of young pieces and you're like, no, we're going to do the OKC thing. All right, maybe we can sit back and say, sweet, you're playing for the future. But to be like, no, we want to win now. We're going to get Anthony Davis, whose nickname is Mr. Glass, who misses tons of games. It was surprising, man.
It's just like, you look at Oklahoma City right now, since you brought up the Thunder, and the way they're playing, that they played and are playing without Chet Holmgren this season, and it's like, man, I wonder what they could have gotten from a team like that for Luka Dončić. Or you think about, we're going to do an episode on the San Antonio Spurs going out and getting De'Aaron Fox, and it's like, what do you think they would have given up to get Luka Dončić? What is the overall, what could have been the point of not having a bidding war here?
I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
It really doesn't. And I know some people are like, well, Adam Silver's playing the David Stern kind of puppet master thing here. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's great for the NBA to have Luka Dončić and Lakers. But and this isn't for this podcast, but I mean, like, if LeBron James isn't freaking giving you ratings when he's on the Lakers, like, is Luka going to do it? I don't know. Like, that the whole thing is ridiculous to me. Tyson, let's before I'm going to get out of here by giving the full trade, but final thoughts. I mean, I'm still trying to kind of come up with things here. My final thing, I think, listen, the Mavs are putting their chips on the table. They're saying, okay, we know this is a league that's about getting up and down the court, shooting threes. What can we do that stands out that's different? Let's focus on defense. Let's make it hard for them to score in the interior. Let's get length, but with Anthony Davis and our bigs, let's allow Kyrie Irving to kind of be the guy. We have PJ Washington on the wing, Klay Thompson if he can shoot. If it works, and Nico Harrison looks like a genius. I mean, all you need to do is win one ring, and he looks like a genius. Is that going to happen? I'm not sure. Lakers made a long play. I think it's the right play for their franchise, and that's where we sit here. What's your kind of closing thoughts on this matter?
Well, I think if they don't win a ring, then Nico Harrison just solidified the fact that he'll never get an opportunity like this again.
Yeah, I would I would have to agree with that, Tyson. You know, that's why GMs are afraid to make these moves, though.
Yes,
to give him credit, he put his balls on the table and said, "I'm making a move here," and everybody's calling him an idiot today. Maybe it works out. Final trade before we get out of here: the Lakers get Luka Dončić, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris. The Mavs get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, the 2029 first-round pick of the Lakers. And then old Danny Ainge gets in here, gets his guard, Jalen Hood-Schifino, 2025 second-round pick from the Clippers, and the 2025 second-round pick from the Mavs. Like Tyson said, we're going to do another episode on the De'Aaron Fox trade as we got the NBA trade deadline coming in here. Like, subscribe, and share the show so you don't miss a single thing. We'll talk to you guys then. Peace.